Awesome. So once you have two pictures of animals that fit well together, I'm going to use these two for the example, and I'm going to think about cutting this head off and putting this parrot's head onto the llama. And I kind of like the challenge because they're different colors. So in Pixlr, here was my llama giraffe demo from earlier. You want to create a new document. And I like to use Ultra HD because it's large enough to print out in the future if you want to do a printout of it. And I'm going to call it llama parrot. And I'll just set it to like a general white background color and then just hit create. So now I'm going to take those two photos straight from my slideshow, copy, Control C, and paste, Control V, and here's my llama. And I'll just resize that up so that it fits into my canvas and hit enter.
Wait,
and then I'll do, what up, Pedro? Pedro, you're here, your audio connected.
yeah, it's been.
Good.
When I paste it, it only shows up like the code like of the picture, but not the actual picture.
That is odd. Are you copying and pasting it from Google? Because you might have to actually save it. Or are you copying from the PowerPoint?
From the slide.
Did you click the actual, are you like just copying and pasting the page? Like, are you on the page and you hit C? Because you have to actually like click on the picture so that it has the box around it.
No, yeah, it has a box around it. I click copy.
And then
and I
copy.
go to Pixlr.
And then you go Pixlr, and then you went edit paste, or did you do Control V?
I want Control V.
You might have to look for the picture and do it from Google. Sorry, Pedro. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Computers are weird. So I'm going to take this parrot, copy, and then paste. And now again, they are facing in different directions right now. So I'm going to flip this parrot. So I'm going to use this flip horizontal. I could flip it this way. I could flip it this way if I need to, but I want them both facing in the same direction. And now, in order to see both at the same time, it is helpful to use the triple dots here and turn transparency down a little bit so you can kind of see how they line up. It looks like right now this parrot is just a little too big. Great. So now I will turn the blend transparency back up because I'm going to just cut out the background. To do that, we use the scissor. And I'm going to just jump straight to magic cutout, and I'll just click feathering. I set it at 2. If your animal is very hairy, you want feathering maybe like 3 or 4. And then I just do one click and it went too far. It kind of clicked, it removed some of the beak, which is okay. So what I'm going to do now is kind of go draw, and I'm going to click add, and I'll just brush that beak back into, let me click the harder brush. I'm going to just brush that beak back into the animal. I think it kind of glitched because the beak is black and the background is black. But I'm going to click remove to get rid of all these little pieces of blobbies around here. Most of these techniques we introduced last semester during the Dreamscape collage project. So some of these techniques will be familiar to some of you. But we were using Photopea at the time, and Photopea has some glitches. So this program, I think, is a little better for this assignment. Let me get close with a small brush to get up underneath his chin here, or its chin. I don't know. How do you tell a male, female parrot? I'm not quite sure. So once I have a rough mask, now I can think about resizing to see if it fits any better. So I can use my move tool to move it around and place it, but I'm trying to get it so that it pretty much covers. Yeah, this is looking pretty awesome, actually. It covers most of and connects to the front of the body. Let me add, because I see a little glitch happening here where it kind of over erased. I'm gonna add that back in. But now I want to kind of blend it into the body. So I'm going to use the brush tool and make a softer brush choice, one of these really soft ones. And I might even turn this down to like 75. And so what this does, make a bigger brush, 200, is it will, I'm on add, I want to be on subtract. It will start to kind of blend at the seam where the one animal ends and the other begins. So I want to kind of make this look like the brown of the alpaca is fading into the colors of the parrot. And this actually kind of looks somewhat believable. I went too far there, so I'll hit undo. But what I want to do now, I've got a kind of nice parrot alpaca thing happening. There's one little area, if it doesn't line up perfectly, you can kind of move it around. But there's one area that I can't get rid of, which is where this llama's head pops out from the parrot. So to do that, I need to be on the llama layer. So we'll double click and call this llama layer. And I'm going to make a copy of it so that if I mess up, I don't have to worry about it, because I'm going to actually erase this llama by taking parts of the background, parts of the cloud, and kind of sticking it over the llama. And to do that, I use this clone tool, which is over here. If you hover, it says clone, draw and copy from other areas of the image. Keyboard shortcut is S. The way that this works is there's two different features. Source will like sample. So for example, if I have source and I click this mountain, it takes part of the mountain and pastes it wherever I want it to go. So I'm going to also have align turned on. So I'm going to source the cloud, and you can kind of shift between source and paint by pressing space bar or shift key. So I'm going to source this cloud, and I'm going to just paint right over the llama. Source the cloud, paint right over his head, its head. Source and paint. And I'm just kind of covering up where the llama's head used to be, but there will be little blobs and little mess ups where the edges kind of mesh. You can use a soft brush and kind of do a little bit more shift and click to make that kind of soft. But nowadays, this healing tool is actually better. And you can, with a big heel, you can kind of click and it will smooth out those little inconsistencies and make it more believable. So this is what it looked like before, and then this is what it looked like afterwards. So you can see that I kind of removed the llama and I'm left with my parrot llama. And that's basically it. So I'll just crop out these two little parts so that I'm left with my llama parrot. If I wanted to make this parrot look more mesh and blend with the llama fur, the other thing I can do is go to adjustments and play with the hue. So if I take this hue, I can kind of like change it so that it's pink. I'm looking for like a brown. So I might turn colorize on and kind of make it more of a brownish yellow. I mean, it's okay if it looks a little weird. I kind of liked it before with the color contrast, but I'm just wanted to show you ideas. So if you pick two animals that don't totally mesh together, actually that kind of works well. Where it totally blends the brown of the feathers and the, just turn this down a little bit, hit apply. So then that's it. I'll just hit file, save, and download as JPEG for the classroom. So I do feel like that was a lot of information. So I'm going to stop the video. You're welcome to